Hi, I'm Margaret, and today I'm making this gorgeously sticky malt loaf, and I'm starting the day before I bake by soaking this lovely dried fruit. I've chosen sultanas, prunes and dates, but you can switch this up to choose your favourite fruits. Figs would be quite nice, and even mixed fruit. Maybe some peel? Oh, and I bet glacé cherries would work well too. Now the tea I've used is PG Tips, and I've used 3 tea bags in 180 millilitres of hot water. The treacle will give it a marvellous flavour and also a dark rich colour. I find a weighing scales under the mixing bowl is a great way to measure out these sticky ingredients. And now for the magic ingredient. You can't make malt loaf without malt extract. I tried the supermarkets for this, but I couldn't get hold of it there. It's not a very common ingredient, so if you're in the UK, Holland and Barrett stock it and it works a treat. Now we have to give it a really good mix to get the treacle and the malt extract to dissolve in the hot tea. That should do it. Now all I need to do is cover it and leave it overnight in the fridge. The fruit will then soak up the flavours of that beautiful liquor. So the next day we're ready to bake. Let's first of all line that 2-pound loaf tin with baking paper. Usual way, just snipping the corners. I find it easier to pop into the baking tin if I lie the paper down so the natural curve is away from me. That way, when I push it into the tin, the paper naturally curves itself around the edges. A little bit of butter so it sticks. And then push right into the corners. There we go. Now it's time to preheat that oven and get started with the bake. First in with the fruit, making sure we get every last drop of that lovely juice. And then the dry ingredients. Now with the flour, I'm going to add a teaspoon of each of bicarb soda and baking powder. And then give it a really good mix so that the flour completely disappears into the mixture. And when you're sure it's thoroughly mixed, you can pop in the eggs. And again, no need to be gentle with it. Just give it a really good stir. Let's make sure those eggs are fully incorporated. Scraping down the edges as I go. Now malt loaf was invented in Scotland, but for lots of people all over the UK, those people of a certain age, malt loaf has been a favourite for years. I remember coming back from school many a time at lunchtime and being sent back to school with 2 slices of malt loaf sandwiched with butter in between, all wrapped in a piece of baking paper. I was probably chatting so much over the lunch hour that I didn't have time to finish it before it was time to go back. Well, this malt loaf is ready to bake now, and as soon as it comes out of the oven, we need to find some more malt extract and pour it over the top. This extra layer will soak in and help it to become even more beautifully sticky and delicious. Now, that's going to cool completely in the tin, and then I'm going to wrap it up, fold the baking paper over, take it out of the tin, and cover it, wrapping it tightly in a good thick layer of silver foil. Pop this into an airtight tin and 2 days later the magic will have happened. You'll have the fruitiest, stickiest malt bread that you've ever had. Let's just carefully remove the paper. I am so looking forward to trying this. Now the only butter to have with this is Kerrigold. And if you can't get Kerrigold, get the best butter that you can. You'll need plenty. Malt Loaf just has to have lashings of butter. Wow, that's amazing. Thanks for joining me this week. I hope you've enjoyed making Malt Loaf together. I look forward to catching you again soon for another sweet treat.